Welcome, folks, to this next episode of the Intuitive Abundance podcast. Great to have you here. Let's talk about strategy versus frequency. If you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, a female entrepreneur, a spiritual guide, a healer, a coach, a mystic, a maven, a maverick, all the things, if you are in the coaching industry, you will have heard this conversation. Is it strategy or is it energetics? I have to have strategy or I have to have the energetics, right? And I think in a way, this is even the wrong question to be asking because I think the answer is something different than what people anticipate. Because if you've been in business for a while and you have started from a place of applying strategy, you can be guaranteed you have done that from the level of mind. And everything is created through the mind. We have an awareness, we have consciousness, we apply an idea, we find a strategy and we apply it. And then, of course, we're looking at the feedback in our business in terms of the results that that has created. And then on the other side, you're looking at energetics. And energetics, of course, is all about the frequency. What does it feel like? Does it feel good? Am I in a good frequency? Who am I being right now? Am I being a person who's certain in what I'm offering? Am I being a person who's certain in my strategy? So this can be an interesting conversation because a lot of people are like, you can't just create a business from your feminine flow, your feminine frequency. And the answer to that is, of course you can. A lot of people have just applied the energetics to create million-dollar businesses. And then you have other people often on the other side talking about strategy and how you need strategy. And if you're a millionaire and you're going to go into multi-million dollars, that you need the strategy to contain that. You need to know the analytics, you need to know the numbers, you need to be more in the other brain hemisphere. So the answer is, of course, as a person who is creating a multi-million dollar business, you have both. But the irony is here, I think there's some important componentry that people have forgotten. What creates consciousness? Consciousness creates. And your conscious awareness to have the idea to put a strategy in place. But the energetic component here is, how do I feel about the strategy that I'm putting in place? Because if you're going to get a very different outcome from putting a strategy in place that you feel 100% certain about, that you feel absolutely convicted about, that you are sure is going to work, versus a strategy that you apply, which has maybe come from somebody else, and that has worked for them and their identity. And then you apply it in your business and you don't have 100% conviction around it. And then maybe you don't get the results that you were looking for. So understanding that it is consciousness that creates. What does that mean? What am I talking about? I'm talking about source energy is the creation. Infinite intelligence is the creator. We all have this creative ability inside of ourselves. We are all creators. But you can apply lots of different strategies, and if you don't have belief and conviction in them, they will not fly. So you need to understand the energetics behind the strategy. Do I believe in it? Am I rock solid in it? Do I know that this is going to work for me? And this is why it's so important to follow your intuition in business. Because if you're not listening to your own awareness and you're applying somebody else's strategy, it's going to feel like you're trying to bolt something onto your business that's not actually for you. You would be better served to take your attention off the external and bring it back to yourself and ask yourself, what is for you? This is why it's so important that you can't tell other people even what their niche is. You can't tell other people what their business model is. You can't tell them the way to do their business. You can, But what's going to happen is that that person doesn't feel like it's authentically for them. There will be some kind of kerfuffle inside their energy, which results in dissatisfaction, which will impact the outcomes that they get. So it's all interconnected, folks. Of course, you need to apply strategy to your business. Sending an email, doing a launch, having a funnel is strategy. Higher end strategy to make sure that you have the systems in place and the structure that supports you. But the energetics are everything. Because if you don't have your energy in the right place, you can do all the things and they can be perfect and it still won't work. Now, I think I've shared a story before of a copywriter that I've worked with previously. And she shared about how she wrote a beautiful sales page, follow-up emails. They were perfect in terms of identifying the ideal client's issues and solving the problem. It had all the psychology behind it in terms of sales psychology. And they said she did this for her client. They got it all looking perfect. They went to launch it. No sales. Now, why is that? Because when she sat down and talked to her client, she realized that her client wasn't actually on board with what the offer was, which is a clear example of even though you could have the most perfect copy, you can hire a beautiful, because this woman does amazing work, copywriter, and still, if the energy's not there, it will not fly. And that's why your intuition is one of your best resources. Instead of doing something that somebody else has told you, instead of applying somebody else's ideas or structure, you want to look at it and go, is that going to work for me? And if you sit still inside of yourself and truly take the time to deeply get aligned to your infinite self and ask, you will be shown what is right for you. But having the courage to do that, because often what happens, the mind, which can be more fear-based, will go out there and go, I need to find the thing to solve the problem. Or it will look to somebody who's hugely successful at what they do and how they've done it, and you'll think, they're successful. I'll take what they've done and apply it to my business. Now, the thing is, folks, you have to understand that reality is subjective. What does that mean? It means the people who take the program and install it and it works for them, they have decided that it's going to work for them. They have got their energy on board with having it work. They have brought the force of themselves behind what they're offering, and it's a yes. It's lined up. That's how you make sales. A lot of people, again, like your job is to come into alignment. How you actually do that doesn't really matter. What really matters is your energy and your conviction behind what you're offering. Because if that's not there, it won't sell. So, once upon a time, yes, I worked in banking and it was all strategy focused. It was like, how do we make this happen? What are the projections? Show me the cash flow. Let's look at the numbers. It was all analytical. And there is a lot of value in that. But now I teach energetics for a reason. Because, of course, you want to have some structure. You want to have some strategy. You want to have your systems working. But it's not going to fly without the energetics. And oftentimes what the brain does is it looks for the problem. Oh, there's something wrong with my website. Your website can be a donkey, folks, and you can still make sales because of your energy. I know people who haven't even had a website and they've still go to $1 million because of their energy. So if things aren't coming together and you have got the systems in place, you've got the structure, you are applying strategy, you need to look at your energetics. So feel free to go to my Facebook page and go through to my link tree and have a look at the different links and ways that we can connect. Because when you shift your energy, that's when you get amazing outcomes. You need to be in the energy of certainty in regards to what you're offering. And it can be really easy for your subconscious to create doubt. For money to fly in, for clients to line up, you need to be in a place of absolute certainty. When you have that, you become very magnetic. And when you're magnetic, of course, it's easy for the clients to flock in. So, checking yourself and noticing, yes, strategy is important, of course. You can't really survive in business without it. But if your energetics are not locked in, you will not see the insane outcomes that you often see people making online. Myself, my clients, we know how to do the energetics. I had a VIP day in London not too long ago, and I just had a message from my client today saying that she's met her money goal already. When did we meet? I think it was on the 15th of October. It is the 15th of November today. So she created her money goal within 1 month of having that meeting. The energetics are everything. You can have the structure, the strategy, and of course you need that. Of course you need that. But strategy does not determine your success. Your frequency does. Frequency first, and again, strategy can be applied later. But if the strategy is already there and you're not seeing the insane outcomes that you prefer, that's because your energy needs to be shifted. So if you feel like you're in that place, do send me a message, jump on a call with me. Let's have a conversation about shifting you into a place where you're getting the outcomes that you want. Because you've been in business for a while, you know what it is to apply strategy. If you're feeling frustrated because you're seeing the same numbers month after month after month, it's definitely an energetic issue. All right, folks, I'll see you in the next podcast, sending you lots of love. In the meantime, take good care of yourself and always remember frequency first.